All right, Squishy here again, finally, out on the sunshine on the boardwalk. Finally stopped raining. We had some bad weather there through the winter, even in Sacramento. It happens sometimes. And I'm out here today testing out a new board that I made. It's, I call it a commuter. It's basically a really nice kind of foolproof, solid design that you could ride for miles up to its maximum range reliably and not have to worry about it breaking down really much. It's using a $300 Panasonic 12 cell 4P battery from Torque Boards. Wasn't too expensive. It was about $300 and it came with a case to go over it. It's got USB ports to charge off of it. It also has a solid state switch built into the BMS. Makes it really easy. You can just plug it into a barrel connector on a simple charger and I don't have to worry about the LiPos or anything. It's on a skate shred, like a bacon style, downhill deck, and I'll show you guys pictures of it. It's lacking a kicktail, which I normally really like to include on all of my skateboards, but it doesn't really need it since it's a commuter. It's supposed to be just a nice, relaxing, go places board, simple and solid. It's got some cool grip tape on it. I use the Hobby King power system like I usually do. It's just something I trust. Caliber trucks, and I'm using a Randall 35-degree base plate on the rear, which de-wedges the rear, making it very stable. And then I'm using a 50-degree caliber tube in the front. This is running on 90mm ABEC 11s, which I find to be kind of a nice sweet spot for a board like this. Go far, but big enough to go over railroad tracks still. All right, I'll show you some of the board here. So here it is. It's pretty cool looking, huh? It's got some epoxy like floated up to make the box sit flush. I got my Mirror Skate sticker on there. Long live Mirror Skate. And so you can see the front, it's even wedged. It's got a pretty extreme angle on it. It looks like it's about 65, and then here's the rear angle. It's down to about 35. It's a really basic setup. Like I said, it's just a longboard. It doesn't have a lot of frills. It does have like the USB ports on the battery, which is kind of cool. It's running Zealous ceramic bearings. Of course, Riptide APS barrel bushings, and I've also upgraded the pivot tubes, which is important to do, I think, on all of these cheap cast trucks, but it works really, really well. And then I'll show you the top of it here. It's kind of neat. It's got like a bacon shape to it, I guess you could call it. This is a downhill deck that I got from Skate Shred, and I put some cool grip tape stripes on it. It's got nice wheel wells, fender flares, two nice places for your feet. There's a mellow W in the back, but no W in the front. Just a good, nice, like, kind of locks you into a commuting position. Put some sex bolts through the sides there. There's 3 of them to hold the enclosure on the bottom, and that's about it. Gonna go take it for a ride and see how far it goes. Alright, I've done a whole bunch of miles here, and I'm stopping just to tighten up the wheel pulley and some other things that don't have Loctite in them, just to make sure. I decided to check the motor mount, because people were talking about this Hobby King motor mount that, like, you can't just slap it onto calipers because it doesn't touch all 4 sides. But I'm finding that it touches all 4 sides. So there it is, touching all the sides, and it hasn't shifted, it hasn't moved. It seems to work pretty good, so I don't know what people are doing wrong when they maybe they're putting it on upside down, or like they have it flipped the wrong way or something. You can take a look at here how I have this mounted for reference. I'm only at 93%, and I've gone I don't know, like 5 miles. I barely even put a dent in this battery. Here's my little toolkit I bring with me wherever I go riding. Just tightened up the bushings, tightened up the screws, like these screws on the end of the motor pulley. They seem to come undone on fresh builds, so you just tighten them up after a few miles and then they never come undone. Shake them up a little bit, kind of like a shakedown cruise, but always stop. You know, about 5 miles in, just check all the bolts and tighten them up on a new one to make sure that it's good. I'm loving these 90mm wheels. They're cruising just right. So I'm down here skateboarding and I came across a protest. And it looks like they just came across the bridge and they're intersecting the media. And the cops are all here. There's helicopters flying overhead and it's probably going to be a hell of a commute getting home today. Whole bunch of people in purple just showed up yelling and screaming, and then a bunch of people were already waiting for them to join in with signs. So they're talking about shutting down the roads and shutting down the Kings game like they did last night.